Peace to the family on this one. This one is a kind of difficult subject for me to speak about because of some things that I'm going through in my life in regards to my wife and my child, my immigration case, and the current climate in the United States under this oppressive regime that we're navigating through. But today, across the media and the news, the local news here in Atlanta, and we're in the month of April in the year of 2025, and there's been a lot of news coverage about how I think it's 148% tariff that's been levied against the Chinese by the current American regime. And the thing that it's going to affect that they're talking about is fake hair and cosmetics for black women, African American women, indigenous women, whatever term you choose to use. Generally, as a man, I'm pretty much hands off of women's appearances, what they do about their appearance, because that's her realm of divine femininity, and I, as a man, I don't really feel like I have too much to say about it if we come together and I trust you as a woman, as my woman, as a woman who chooses me to be her man. I don't have much to say about it. But with these tariffs, it seems as if by the media, they are portraying this as a more important subject than the other things that these policies and these tariffs are going to affect. They've said that each household can expect to be charged an additional $4,700 in expenditures in the fiscal year. That's not even adding into the equation the big products that you would buy. Say if you're going to buy an automobile, say if you're going to purchase a home or any big ticket item, you're gonna be charged more. But it seems as if there is more backlash about these weaves, these hair pieces, this makeup. I understand Miss Sarah Breedlove and Madam C.J. Walker, a.k.a. Madam C.J. Walker, being one of the first black millionaires in the United States, and how much we as a people spend on hair care products and cosmetology and things that are just dealing with appearance, right? Again, I got brothers that will vouch for me that I've always defended women's rights to be themselves, how they choose fit. I have a reasonable standard myself. As I was sharing with you earlier, my wife and I are going through an immigration case, which is definitely affected by this current regime, right? And it came time for her to take a new photo for the immigration package that I have going. I says, honey, take your picture natural, no makeup. She has locks. She has love locks. not just natural. Just don't do anything. In French, we call it faux cheveux, fake hair. I said, no fake hair. And when she showed up to take the picture, she had fake hair. Obvious to say that, it made me angry. It didn't make me angry because of the fake hair, but that's against the regulations for taking a passport photo, a photo that you're going to submit to a government entity, right? So, we kind of had a falling out about it. And I don't know how she did it, but she had some fake hair into her locks or whatever. And being that there's a language barrier between my wife and I, and then you have the barrier between just husband and wife, she didn't have any way of knowing that, it was that crucial, but it was. And I, as her husband, she should have just listened to me, right? So, with this tariff on faux cheveux or weaves or wigs or things of that nature, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about, women that, may suffer from alopecia or some sort of, maybe they're going through chemotherapy. Maybe, and God knows, I know about this cancer thing because I'm going through it with several members of my family, and I may be going through it with my wife as well. So I'm sensitive to persons needing these hair pieces and these synthetic hair and human hair because of some medical reason. I'm very sensitive to that. But the heart of the matter is the portrayal of black women and being more concerned about their appearance than the grand scheme of what's going on in the country in regards to persons persons of color being written out of history. The culture of non-whites being assaulted by this dominant political shitstorm. So I was hurt by it. I was hurt that there was so much coverage, media coverage, about fake hair. I mean, with all things, you have to make sacrifices. We're going to have to sacrifice things based on things that we can't control. We just can't control what's going on in terms of the policies that are being forced on us. So I'm trying to tread lightly because I don't want to be offensive to women. But if we can't sacrifice the makeup, if we can't sacrifice the fake eyelashes, if we can't sacrifice the fake hair and all of those things, when it really comes down to the come down, what are we going to do? Are we going to be at the peril of our carnal desires? I don't mean in a sexual way. I'm talking about in just a purely aesthetic way. And that's been an issue that's I've been wrestling with the last few hours. I say. And another thing, a topic that has come up on internet, well, social media, was about little girls in Africa having to cut their hair to go to school. I remember when my baby girl was born, as part of their tradition, they cut the child's hair. I didn't let them cut my baby's hair. I didn't want her to go through that particular ritual. That was just something about me that I didn't like. And when she did go to school, not kindergarten, pre-K, but when she started actual school, they cut her hair. And I was living in the United States, and I went back. And when she ran up to me, it was like I didn't even know who she was because her hair was cut. Her mother didn't tell me that her hair was cut, that they had to cut her hair for school. And it pained me that I didn't even recognize my daughter. I've grown accustomed to it now, and I love her. With her little G.I. Jane cut, with her little Caesar cut or whatever. She's mine, and I love her, right? But the reason that my wife allowed them to cut her hair was because my wife wasn't afforded the opportunity to go to school, to learn to read and write. So that's one vow that she had for herself, that her daughter would not go through that, and that her daughter would be educated. So for my wife, it was an easy decision to cut her hair, and allow her hair to be cut for her to go to school. And when I was home last time, when I was in Cote d'Ivoire last time, one of the ladies in the village where they live now hadn't seen my child before. She said, "Oh, you cut her hair," to my wife. And she was like, "Yeah, she goes to school." But, my little girl's hair had grown, and she was pretty, with her hair. And one of the ladies in the village was like, "Oh, she cut her hair to go to school." And it was like, it was something that was acceptable. And I also remember, a friend of mine, I had posted a picture of my child when she was young, and, she just didn't have a whole lot of hair like that. And he mistaked her for a boy. And I don't know. I think the Western concepts of beauty, long hair, straight hair, have affected not only women, but they've affected men in terms of what our standards of beauty are. But more importantly, it has affected women to the point where, how can I say it, we're not willing to sacrifice things of substance to things of aesthetics, of so-called European standards of beauty. I hope I treaded lightly on this subject. And, as usual, I would say that, the parameters that I'm dealing with, according to the United Code of Compensatory Acts against White Supremacy, this would fall in the 10th category, which was added by Dr. Francis Quest Welsling, that of health. So, again, I hope I treaded lightly on this subject. I hope that you look into it a little bit and see where you stand on it. I may be 100% wrong for viewing it the way that I viewed it. But I don't think so. I think that I have a little insight into how things are being portrayed in the media in terms of how people of color, and in particular, I say my community, are dealing with this current administration and the current policies that are being enacted by this administration. So with that, I say peace. I hope this finds you in the best of life, strength, and health. I would hope that you add and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to build this. I know a lot of times people are more interested in the glitz and the glams and the controversy and the non-cerebral things. But if you have a moment to think and want to think positively over certain things that are going on, I think you'll get a lot from subscribing and checking out my channel and things that I do. I've stuck a lot on the areas of people activity, but I also deal in the spiritual, the metaphysical, even the major world religions and things of that nature. So again, I say, if you haven't learned anything today, you spent a day without learning, then you really didn't live that day, and it's a day that you can never get back. Again, I hope you are in the best of health, strength, and spirit. Peace.